All right, there we go. There we go. Let's be real, y'all. We're back at another, I guess, side episode, man. We have to do something special for our girl, Carrie Bernans. How you doing,
Hi,
Carrie?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here with y'all. How y'all doing?
All right, all right, all right. We appreciate you having me, man. You're a superstar in our eyes, so the fact that you're able to take a minute out of your time to join us is beautiful. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure. And the same for y'all too. I'm happy to be here.
That. So what we're doing this month, Carrie, as I explained to you, we're celebrating women in media and in sports, and you definitely have had your things going on in media that are mind blowing. Congratulations with everything. It's been beautiful to see your journey. For
Thank
me and Shark, we saw you like playing, running track at the U of M. And to see you on, playing tag on Fox and everything, like how, like, just like what made you want to get into acting? Like, what made you want to do that?
Yeah, I've always wanted to do acting since I was a young girl. When I was born in Virginia, and it was like TV was an escape for me to like not look at the circumstances and situations that I was going through because my mom was a young teenage mom that had me. I had a younger sister, and we were going through, a lot of stuff that young single parents, that's living on or below the poverty line that goes through, from food shortages to figuring out like jobs, getting us to school, moving a new place, and all of that. So to me, writing and like watching TV and use was a escape part. And then I loved acting. I loved performing from churches to um, plays at school and all of that. I think I stopped sharing my dream probably when I was like in high school, college. I mean, I told some people on the side, but I kind of diverted my like passions more to the business world because I was also equally as passionate about that from like exposure and summer business camps and stuff like that. So yeah, that was a long answer, but a
You're good.
little.
We get to know you, and our guests are getting to know you as well. So just as a young black actress, like what challenges were you faced when you were first coming into the industry?
A lot of different challenges. I think number one is like I didn't know anyone else in the industry besides like a couple friends here and there when I decided to move out to Hollywood. And before I moved out to like Hollywood, and I said Hollywood, such as like Los Angeles, California, I was living in Cleveland and I was still working on the side. At the time, actually, I was working for the NBA, the Cavaliers, and then I was doing acting on the side. And I had an agency that I was getting the auditions and I was taking classes at night. But one of my friends, Heidi Lewandowski, told me if you're gonna really go for it, you need to go for it big, and you need to move to a city that's always um, allowing you the opportunity to succeed. And that was Los Angeles. But the biggest thing is, she says, like hundreds, thousands of people get off the bus every single day and they all go and chase this one dream. But the people that succeed at it are the people that's disciplined and they're always getting after it. So I took like my Memphis hustle mindset because I went to high school in Memphis and then, college there, of course. And I also just took the mindset that I succeed and win at whatever I put my mind to. I knew that challenges would come, and the challenges was that I was not a name before I came to Hollywood. I had very little to no credit. I was had some experience in school or from studying, but I didn't have like work experience per se on set. So people had to be willing to take a chance with me being a new person. And then on top of that, you had to get rid of like self-doubt and then comparison. And being a black girl in the entertainment industry, I feel like when I got in, and it's still ever evolving and changing, is like and sometimes I might be too dark enough for this role, or too light enough, or too like hair too curly. They want to go with straight hair, or like it was just many different obstacles like that. And I think that ultimately I could not put my trust or self worth in how people saw or value me, but what I had to offer from bringing like the best work to the table. Um, and for them to fall in love with me, Carrie, the person that I am, and then what I have to bring of bringing that character to life, or if I was doing stunts, etc. Hope that makes sense.
Absolutely. And one thing about you is that like you wear like a bunch of different hats, right?
Right.
One thing that I saw is like was just mind blowing is the fact that you're a stunt double. Like how did that come about?
Yeah, not only am I a stunt double, I'm a stunt woman. So, because Hollywood is so. First off, I didn't know anything about stunts until I moved to Los Angeles. Like, if I knew about stunts, I honestly probably been doing stunts since I was like, I don't know, 12 years old. And what stunts is, you guys, if for people that don't know, it's the action that you see in the movies, like the big bang car crashes, the hits, the fights. Most of the time when you're watching an actor fight on screen, they're not really doing all of their fights and hits. When they fall on the ground, they're doing something crazy in the air, they're using wire work or a car crash, etc. Most of those times they're stunt doubles that are doing that. Or even like, for instance, if you see someone get in a fight at the bar and you see the main character fight some knuckleheaded guy or shoves a girl on their way in, that usually is a stunt actor or a stunt woman or a stunt man. And so there's so many different variations in the stunt community of like terminology per se. So stunt doubles is, when you take the main character or any character for that matter, and then the stunt double comes in, does the action, and then they replace, back with the actor to look as if that whole sequence was completed by the actor. But yeah, I do that. I kind of got into it because I came to LA saying I might, I'm going to be a black girl James Bond. One thing a lot of people didn't know about me is I speak 6 languages and I knew some martial arts, but I didn't know a whole lot. But I started learning a lot more when I moved to LA, like Taekwondo. And then I started training stunts, and they were like, you're the perfect size for like to double some of our actors. And it was a side hustle that turned into a full time career. And it ended up being that's my full time career as a stunt woman, and then a full time career as an actor. And then in that acting realm, I also do voiceovers. And then now I've been doing some producing on some movies and doing really well at that as well.
So when was that aha moment? Like, I know I'm meant to do this. That moment where it's like, okay, I'm done. Just kind of like leveling it up. Now it's like I know I'm here. I put my foot in. Like, what was that motivational? That just that moment that kind of like inspired you to want to push yourself even greater and to be like, I'm here now. You got one of those moments?
Yeah. I think my first aha moment was I decided to be like, you know what? I'm still like and when I say early 20s, you can be whatever age and still chase this dream of acting or whatever the dream is. But I was like 20, 21. I think, hold up, how old was I when I moved out here? Shoot. I can't even think. 22, 23, 23, 23, 24 maybe. And when I moved out here, I was just like, my first aha moment is I put down 3 months of rent. I decided not to take any quote unquote job, and I decided to drive Uber or Lyft. And in some people's eyes, it looked like I was going backwards because I was like leaving a job where I was getting paid like 80,000 a year, doing really well. And then I was like, no, I was like in a relationship at the time, not with that same person anymore, which is okay. And I was just like, no, this is what I want to do. So my aha moment was as I was chasing my dreams, I just was like, I was like, fuck yeah, I can do this because I had a vision board and some of my vision started coming true. Like I became union in the matter of a few months of living there when I heard people's stories about becoming union like 5 years in, 10 years in, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in, they had to do background work on a show or extra work and collect these vouchers. I got Taft Hartley, meaning like they felt like there was no one else like me to work on this commercial. So they tapped in me and it gave me exclusion to join the union without any like extra needed paperwork. And then they paid me $15,000 on top of that for like 2 seconds of my face on this commercial. And I think that was my first aha moment. And then my second and third was like, I just realize the more consistently you showed up for yourself, and even when you fell on your face and it wasn't all perfect, you do start seeing results, and people started referring my names in rooms I didn't walk in before. And I would get calls, and maybe I didn't book every role that people referred me to, but eventually I booked some that stuck. And that led me from the Luke Cage from Marvel to the Black Panther to the Avengers to the everything else. And now I'm here like 6 years and some change in, and I got my foot constantly on the gas, and opportunities come to me without me even having to be like, yo, what's up? Where's the work? It's like the work is here.
Or the word came to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. So I gotta say, I'm somebody that did see Black Panther 3 times, maybe four in theaters. So I do gotta ask, like, what was it like working on that set? I gotta ask that.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely one of the best experiences in my entire life. I think sometimes, like, I was so excited to work on the set that when I was there, it just felt so real and so surreal, I guess, that it didn't phase me. I think, like, one of the things I often say in a lot of interviews is like shaving my head bald was a big deal because of, having 16, 17 inches of hair. And all my life, like as a kid, I had long curly hair and people would pat me on the head and call me a poodle or asked if I was mixed. I'd be like, yo, I'm just black. And I think shaving my head gave me a new identity of what I thought beauty was. But then on top of all of that, it was the moment of realizing like Angela Bassett and Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan, all these people that I watched and looked up to are now like my colleagues, my castmates, and they're people I get to work alongside. So I knew that I was in the right place being trained for this like right season, and I had to take on this warrior state of mind. And the timing of everything was really perfect too because of like what my vision board said. Like from the moment that they picked me up in a black SUV, like I dreamed of that moment. So like taking me to the airport, to me flying first class, having unlimited drinks, whatever the fuck I want, to get into the 22nd floor, the Aloft Hotel, like Midtown in Atlanta, to being taken to set, to training. It was also the one of the most challenging sets. Like sometimes, like I say, the bigger the level, the higher the level, the greater the challenge. I was there among some elite stunt performers, elite actors. So I had to level up everything constantly. So even though they were training us and getting us up to par to play like Adore Malaje, like I had to take home some of the weapons myself or go buy me a broomstick to work on the fight choreography, to work on the accents. Although none of the acting per se made it besides like me portraying the character work. Um, but it was great. It was a master class. And I'm so grateful for it.
So, how much did you get a chance to interact with Chadwick Boseman?
A lot. I say a lot, but not a lot. Like Chadwick is a very focused person when he's on set.
Mhm.
He definitely talks to us and agrees, say hello, what's up, y'all, blah blah blah. Like today, let's get our heads in the game. This is like what's going on. The director have his thoughts and moments, and then we'll go and play. And there's moments, he's joking around. He'll come and be like saying like, "Great job," dab me, dab somebody else. And then I think it was more towards the end where like all of our relationships just really like we knew we created something special. We were just all happy and we were just like jumping up and down and like partying with one another, like on that set in the middle of Fayetteville in this like green grassland of like thousands of acres and big green screens. So yeah, and then we had more interaction more outside of set. Like I got to go to church with him and I got to like volunteer with him and stuff of that sort. So it was really cool.
Nice. Great memories. So now I guess dealing, I guess to current times, like how did the pandemic kind of, I guess, shape the way that you move? Because everything, I guess, shut down. We have to go and rest and do everything that we have to do. So how did I guess, going through the pandemic affect the way that you move?
That's a great question. For the pandemic, I think for many people, we like a lot of people took this upon themselves, at least myself, to like do as much work as possible. Like, oh, now I'm at home. Okay, I can now catch up on like all the organizational stuff I need to do. I need to do this and that. And I think I was realizing, yes, 24 hours in one day. I was like, oh, I only need 4 hours of sleep because I'm at home. I'll be fine. But I realized real quick that I ran myself into like like a lapse of like doing way too much and having like issues with getting sleep and my health, and then with the pandemic, with the rise of equality or like the face of like adversity and racism in America was like a big prominent thing because a lot of my friends were marching, and then I felt the need to go out and to exercise my activism, and then I protested for like 30 plus days until I caught COVID. And then when I caught COVID, that's when things hit me like big time to realize like how important health was. Because for the first time in a long time, I haven't been to the doctor. I was always like, I say I was like a man because I always hear women that's married for a long time say, "My man don't want to go to the doctor. He's sick for like 20 years or whatever." I was like, man, I was like that man. Like when I was younger, yeah, my mom took us for ourselves, like our checkups and stuff, but going to like doctors often was not a thing we did every year, and it's definitely not a thing I was learned to talk to do as an adult. And everything hit me. I became um more grounded in my faith. Like I was already like praying to God and stuff, but shoot, I got anointed and baptized again in my own room, realizing like I was not about to die. Because I was like, God's not finished with me, but I did see my life flash before my eyes. So it gave me a new sense of purpose and also made me think like no matter how much success you get, no matter how busy you can get, you have to take time to breathe and to relax and to get some fucking sleep. And drink some water, take care of yourself. So but I thought like I wasn't gonna work like a lot of people. I mean, I didn't think that actually. I did think I was gonna work eventually. I just didn't know when. And then God blessed me with a job right after I healed from COVID, which took maybe like a month to get rid of it, and probably took 8 months of recovery process. But that second month after I tested negative, I got booked for a job in New Mexico working on Harder They Fall for Netflix, and I got to do a lot of horse work and you know cowboy ranger stuff, shooting guns and those type of things. So it was real cool.
Yeah, yeah. Was there a time there where you wanted to give up?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I did Black Panther, there was a moment that I had like I was learning like 10 different counts of choreography, and they were all between like 8 to like 12 beats each one. And it was just a lot of stuff all at one time. And we were put under so much pressure of like this circle, and people would watch us to make sure each hit and each move was right. And I honestly like at that moment, I remember going to the bathroom and calling my mentor and just feeling like I don't know, maybe like I was one of the youngest girls there, like youngest people they had there among the stunt performers, the cast, all of that. And I was like, is this what I signed up for? I don't know if this is what I was meant to do, like, because it was so challenging and hard. And it's like I wasn't gonna give up. I didn't know I questioned my abilities. But then I proved to myself that I was more than capable of doing that and more. And then I think at another moment, like sometimes it gets hard. You do so many auditions. You might do hundreds of auditions before you get booked on a show, a film, a commercial, uh, any of that. Some people have been out here for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, haven't booked anything. So I think when you are facing that level of quote unquote rejection in some way, or look at it as rejection, it could be very difficult and gruesome. But you just have to change your perspective. And I'm grateful for me to be able to change my perspective on things, and also that I'm in more than one arena. So I'm not dependent on every acting job that comes through. Neither I'm depending on every stunt job that comes through or every voiceover job. But I know that they will equal themselves out. And one day they all gonna work out. I'm gonna be doing all of them intermixed, and they're all in that same arena. So yeah.
So it's from what you said, it's like it's really easy to get discouraged, especially like you said, you're doing 100 different things and trying 100 different things. You're being told 100 different ways no. So like, how do you deal with the disappointment? And
Yeah, it's a great question. I To me, I think like the biggest win that anybody can have in this industry, especially as an actor when you're getting auditions, is to know that first off, you were chosen to get the audition in the first place. So when I like say like when you look at your perspective differently, like there's so many agents and managers that are submitting constantly their talent to these casting directors on this platform called Casting Networks, as well as Actors Access, which is the breakdown services. And when you get that audition, they literally only sent it to 10% of the people that submitted. So you have to realize the first win is you got the audition. And then the second win is like you are able to like bring your best self to it, and you have to let it go. You can't hold on to the I wish or I want. You have to say, I did great. Now I release this to the world, and what will happen will happen. If it's meant for you, it will come to you and it will happen. If it's not, then something better is on its way. And I think it's just a matter of perspective and mindset. But honestly, I just think that the way I just like look at things, it just expanded and protected myself from some rejection and maybe creating your own work and like doing things that make you happy too as a reward because sometimes you're not going to get everything and that's normal. But if it was easy, everyone would do it. But if one thing for sure, and Denzel Washington talks about this a lot, so does Will Smith, if you consistently give it great effort and your discipline on it, it will work and something will stick and you will achieve your goals and dreams. You just can't give up.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, definitely.
What's been your most memorable moment as an actress? Do you have?
Most fun. Uh, ra, 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 ra. There's so many memorable moments. I think, like, honestly, working on a Western in New Mexico with like this phenomenal cast with Idris Elba and getting to watch them work every day and Jonathan Majors and Lakeith Stanfield and Regina King and just like all the stunt performers on there, all the horses we got to ride and then also like of course working on Black Panther and then working on Avengers and looking at all the superheroes walk around in their costumes and getting to know them personally. It makes it just such a human experience that I feel like oh, like those are my friends. I mean, we may not talk every day, but to me, I'm like, oh, that's so and so. Like, I think um, it still feels very surreal, and I still feel like I'm at the very beginning. I'm having a lot of success, of course, but I know like I'm just barely touching like the tip of the iceberg, and I'm excited about some films I recently worked on with John Travolta and Bruce Willis that's coming out this summer working with Jordan Peele recently on his a new horror film with Kiki Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya was amazing.
Yeah, that looked like it's gonna be good.
It is so like it's so many memories. I think like I'm grateful this work allows me to travel everywhere, make money, have fun, and give back.
Nice, nice. So how long did it take you to get past, or were you starstruck when you like first got into like all of these actors and actresses that you like grew up watching?
No, I think it's crazy. I thought I would be starstruck, but I'll be like, oh shit, that's so and so. Like I hung out with Chris Brown like a few times, and I'm like, yeah, it's Chris Brown. But for some reason, it just feels so normal. Like it just, I'd be like, maybe because I did date this celebrity for a minute, like under the wraps, like for like 6 months. So I think even hanging with him because everybody loves him so much, and I'm just like it just like felt like nothing. So maybe then after that, everybody kind of felt like, oh, cool, this is so and so. But the only person I was starstruck on was Beyonce, and I actually it's so funny because at first it was Jay-Z, and I had said some whack stuff to him actually, and I thought my friend at the time she was mad at me because she was like, "You made Jay go away," and I was like, "Oh no," because I said something like H to the O, O to the V. What's up, Jay Z? Like I was so corny, and then he was just like, "What's up?" And I was like, "Hi, nice to meet you. I love you. I think you're amazing. I love you." I say, "Okay, bye." And he was like, "Okay." He was like, he awkwardly just walked away, and I was just like, fuck. Why did I drink? What was I doing?" I'm using scissors. I was like, "Oh no!" And then everybody was so mad at me in the area. My friend said something. This other girl looked at me. I was just like, because he literally just came, and we were at the after party for my film, The Harder They Fall, and he was right in front of us, like right by the stage. And then like 10 minutes later, he came back over and he was like, "What's up?" And I was like, "What's up?" And then he just started cracking jokes with my friend and I. So it was real cool the rest of the night for like 2 hours. So we were like, "Oh dang, this is so cool." We were like, but we couldn't be like super groovy about like, "Yo, Jay-Z's like next to me." But we did have some people like record behind us, like we were just hanging out with Jay-Z, We had a couple pictures and stuff. So it was cool. I didn't post any because I didn't want to be like super extra, but I was just like, yo, this is still really cool. And then like my publicist at the time, he had said, "Oh yeah, Beyonce's over there with Kelly. Do you want to meet her?" And I was like, "Yes, I want to meet her." And I didn't even know she was at the party. I was like, "Where did Beyonce come in?" I was like, "Oh shit!" So then they came over, and they were like, "They said, come on." And then Beyonce had her mask on, and then her security's like, "Do you mind putting your mask on?" I was like, "Oh shoot, where's my mask?" Because I was so comfortable at the party, so I put my mask on, and then he was like, "Hey, this is Carrie." He's like, "Yeah, I heard a lot about Carrie," and it's just like, "I know you're an actress in some of me, to Black Panther and some other films." Just says, "I'm so proud of your work and your excellence and blah blah blah. You're representing Black girl magic," and she's like, "Just continue to keep going hard. Know that I'm watching you and supporting you from here and afar. I can't wait to work with you one day." Blah blah blah. And I was just like, I think I scared. I was like, "Oh shit." I was like, "I love you so much." I said, "Thank you for your words." I said, you're amazing." I said, "Girl, you have been leading the way for a while." I said my little pieces or whatever. We talked for like back and forth for like 5 to 7 minutes. It wasn't that long, but I know it was at least 5 minutes for sure. Cause we had talked about some stuff, because she told me she only took the first layer of the vaccine. That's why she had her thing on. She was just chilling. Then she was talking about Rumi, I think one of her kids or whatever. And then she was like, "Yeah, I might be working on this project soon." So it was so fucking cool. And I was like, now that's who I starstruck over. So that was a long answer, but I love Beyonce. I love her so much. She's so sweet.
It makes
Gotta
sense.
gotta love the queen.
Yeah.
So I got like 2 last questions. So first question is, why is it important for women to use their voices?
Oh, it's extremely important for women to use their voices, because for so long women were shut down or brought to the back, or was told that they are only good enough to be a housewife or stay at home, no matter how educated they were, no matter how strong they could lead. I think that it's now important that women decide to like rise up and have the courage to not only lead but take a stance on things that matter, from our bodies to making decisions to leading out in the workforce, from companies, corporations, to just calls to actions, And I think that you can be a badass mom and go out and work if you choose to. And if you want to stay at home too, girl, go do your thing. Stay at home, cook and clean. It's all good, because we need those people too. I think it's the best of both worlds. But I think it's important that women just like recognize that their voices matter. Like, I mean, shoot, what men always say, and I say the same thing about men as well, is like it takes, when you see a really great, powerful man, know that he had a great, powerful woman behind him, and he was born from a woman too. So I think the best things in the world start with women, and it's no disrespect to men, but it's that I think we have this motherly thing, regardless if we're mothers or not, that is built to nurture, lead, support, and to enrich. And I think that it's important that we do our part. We make the world a better place.
Yeah, so what advice would you give to young women or anybody that's aspiring to be an actress?
My advice I will give them a couple of advice. So I say my first advice: if you're lazy, don't do it. If you think you're gonna give up easy and you can't take rejection, don't even get in the business. Don't waste your time and don't waste your money. Because I'm not trying to discourage you and to tell you to set you up for failure right away, but I'm just telling you that this industry will eat you out if you allow it to. But if you come in the industry with some faith and some morals and some grounds for who you are, and knowing who you are, and you don't have to have anybody that tells you that, then the stronger you're going to stand and be able to build. And you gotta just keep pressing on, even when times are tough, even when you want to give up. You just have to reinvent, find another way, get in a community of people that support you, love you. Your parents are not always going to understand, neither will your friends, and you have to respect that, because so much of this journey is a very alone journey, in order to grow and to expand and to be able to just be whatever you want to be. Because some people want to be a superstar, some people want to be the most booked actor there are, some people want to be this, that, and the next. Whatever that goal is for yourself, just be really clear on your vision so you can go very focused towards something. There's so many distractions in this industry. So my biggest thing is that in order to cut distractions, you have to be very clear and laser focused on what your vision is. Be nonstop disciplined, consistent, and have faith, because some days you don't know how it's gonna work out, but things can work out if you keep believing that it will. And like I said before, if you're gonna give up easy, just don't even waste your money on headshots, on acting classes, on any of that. You might as well just do something else, because it's gonna require a lot of work. But it, with hard work comes big things that pay off.
Cool. That's it. You got anything else, right? Good. I'm good. Carrie, we appreciate you. What you got coming up, man? What you got? Well, you got your hand in some everything. What you
I know I'm filming a lot of stuff right now. I just booked like a couple of different shows that I'm working on for AMC, for a film that's going to be out in the theaters, a baseball film, which I'm so excited about. The action movie I did with John Travolta and Bruce Willis in Hawaii, that's coming out this summer. The movie Nope, where I did some stunts in, that's coming out this summer. And a lot of other stuff I can't even talk about, but I'm grateful and it's exciting. It's going to be great.
And look, we're grateful to have you on. We really appreciate it, for real. Like you said, it's just the beginning. Just the beginning. Congratulations on everything. Where can the people follow you?
Yeah, absolutely. The people can follow me at Carrie Bernans, CarrieBernans, on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, whatever you want to
go. Sure.
Awesome. And that's it, man. Thank you. Thank you once again, Carrie. We definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank y'all. And congratulations on your podcast. This is exciting.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye, y'all. Well, see y'all later.
All right.
Thank you.